Pokrovsk is a strategic hub in eastern Ukraine, sitting at the crossroads of vital railways and highways in Donetsk Oblast. For Russia, capturing Pokrovsk would open a direct path to the rest of Donetsk, advancing a key war aim and threatening Ukraine's defensive lines. The city's infrastructure is crucial for moving troops and supplies, making it a military prize. For Ukraine, holding Pokrovsk is about survival. It's the last major city under their control in western Donetsk. The city serves as a logistical base, allowing Ukraine to coordinate defenses and evacuate civilians. Losing Pokrovsk would force a major retreat and risk the collapse of Ukraine's eastern front. Pokrovsk has become a symbol of resistance, its pre-war industrial identity replaced by its role as a fortress. The city links Ukraine's northern and southern defenses in the Donbas, enabling rapid movement of reserves. If Russia seizes Pokrovsk, Ukrainian forces could be split and encircled. That's why the fighting here is so intense. Both sides know the outcome could shape the war's future. The battle for Pokrovsk is a struggle for control over critical infrastructure and logistics. For Moscow, it's a political objective. For Kiev, it's a bastion that must be held at all costs. The fate of Pokrovsk is tied to the fate of the Donbas and Ukraine itself. This city's future will help decide the course of the entire conflict. Russia's goal in Pokrovsk is clear: capture the city and claim a major victory in Donetsk. Securing Pokrovsk would let Russian forces consolidate gains and push further west, threatening deeper Ukrainian territory. Their strategy relies on overwhelming firepower and relentless assaults, aiming to break Ukraine's defenses. For Ukraine, the mission is to hold Pokrovsk and bleed Russian forces through active defense and attrition. Ukrainian troops aim to make every Russian advance costly, buying time for reinforcements and Western aid. Russia has concentrated elite units and artillery here, making Pokrovsk the main axis of their offensive. The pressure on Russian commanders is immense, leading to costly frontal attacks. Ukraine must balance holding ground with preserving its best units, using flexible defense and local counterattacks. The battle is a test of endurance. Ukraine seeks to inflict higher losses and set the stage for future counteroffensives. For both sides, Pokrovsk is about more than territory. It's about momentum and survival. The outcome here could shift the balance of the entire Eastern Front. Every day of resistance is a victory for Ukraine. Russia's push toward Pokrovsk began after capturing Avdiivka, advancing west with heavy artillery and infantry assaults. Progress was slow and costly, with Ukraine forcing Russia to pay dearly for every village. By late 2024, the front stabilized east of Pokrovsk, setting up a prolonged struggle. In July 2025, Russia launched a renewed offensive, attacking from multiple directions to encircle the city. The fighting intensified as both sides committed reserves. Russia seized key heights, while Ukraine rushed reinforcements. By August, Russian troops breached Pokrovsk's eastern suburbs, sparking brutal urban combat. The battle shifted to street fighting, with every building contested and Ukrainian defenders using tunnels and ambushes. Russia relies on guided bombs to level city blocks, while Ukraine counters with infantry, anti-tank teams, and drones. The front now cuts through neighborhoods and industrial zones. The conflict has become a war of attrition, each side struggling to sustain losses and resupply. The outcome will depend on who can endure the grind of urban warfare. Pokrovsk stands at a critical tipping point. The battle for Pokrovsk is a showcase of modern warfare. Artillery, drones, and small unit tactics dominate. Russia uses relentless artillery barrages, while Ukraine relies on precision strikes to disrupt Russian guns and supply lines. Large armored assaults are rare. Instead, both sides deploy small, agile attack groups to infiltrate trenches and buildings. Russian storm units probe defenses, followed by elite troops if a breakthrough is found. Ukraine counters with veteran-led raids and local counterattacks to reclaim ground. The city is a fortress. Minefields, anti-tank ditches, and fortified buildings channel attackers into kill zones. Urban defense is layered, with interconnected basements and pre-sighted artillery traps. Drones make the battlefield transparent, forcing troops to disperse and move at night to avoid detection. Command and control is challenging, but survival depends on adaptation. The fight is not one massive clash, but thousands of small, vicious engagements. Every block is contested under the constant threat of artillery and drones. Drones have revolutionized the battle for Pokrovsk, rivaling artillery in importance. Both sides use cheap FPV drones as flying bombs, targeting soldiers, vehicles, and buildings. The constant drone threat means no one is ever truly safe. Casualties and equipment losses mount daily. Fiber optic guided drones, immune to jamming, now hunt high-value targets deep behind enemy lines. Drones provide real-time targeting for artillery, making the battlefield deadly and forcing troops to hide or move constantly. The psychological toll is immense. Soldiers live in constant fear of unseen threats above. Larger drones map enemy positions and track movements, giving commanders a clear operational picture. Dominance in the drone war means seeing the enemy without being seen. The side that controls the skies with drones gains a decisive edge. In Pokrovsk, drone warfare is a daily, deadly contest. To counter Russia's drone onslaught, Ukraine has built layered defenses. Simple nets and cope cages protect trenches and vehicles, saving lives from direct drone hits. Electronic warfare teams use jammers and drone guns to disrupt enemy control, creating protective bubbles along the front. Specialized hunter-killer teams shoot down drones with shotguns, rifles, and interceptor drones, blinding Russian artillery. AI-powered sensors now detect and alert troops to incoming drones, providing round-the-clock early warning. These combined tactics, physical barriers, EW, active hunting, and AI, help Ukraine contest the skies. The anti-drone fight is a constant, high-tech arms race. Ukraine's innovation is key to survival in Pokrovsk. The battle for Pokrovsk is a logistical war as much as a military one. Russia's long supply lines are vulnerable to Ukrainian strikes, forcing them to disperse depots and complicate resupply. Ukraine depends on Western aid, but inconsistent deliveries lead to shell shortages and rationing at the front. Any disruption, destroyed bridges, lost vehicles, or hit depots immediately impacts combat effectiveness. Shortages of ammunition, anti-tank missiles, or medical supplies can be fatal for frontline units. The constant loss of vehicles to mines and drones strains both sides' ability to move and resupply. The side that keeps its supply lines running and adapts fastest will have the advantage. In Pokrovsk, logistics may decide the outcome more than any single battle. Pokrovsk's civilian population has been devastated. Most have fled, leaving behind a shattered city. Those who remain, often the elderly or infirm, endure constant bombardment and scarce resources. Russian strikes target infrastructure, making daily survival a struggle. Homes, schools, and hospitals lie in ruins. The destruction a deliberate tactic to break morale and erase Ukrainian identity. Humanitarian aid is hard to deliver, with villages around Pokrovsk also suffering immense damage. The psychological trauma is deep. Children know only war, adults see their world destroyed. The city's transformation from vibrant community to war zone is stark. The humanitarian crisis will echo for generations. Pokrovsk is not just a battlefield, it's a human tragedy. Three futures loom for Pokrovsk. Russia could grind forward, capturing the city and threatening deeper Ukrainian territory. A stalemate could set in, turning Pokrovsk into a permanent bloody front with no clear victor. Or, with increased Western aid, Ukraine could hold and even counterattack, reclaiming ground and morale. The city's fate depends on endurance, supply, and the will of both armies. Pokrovsk has become the focal point of the war, a test of mass versus resilience. Its outcome will shape the next chapter of the conflict. Whether Pokrovsk falls, holds, or becomes a symbol of defiance remains to be seen.